Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. The rumor swirling around Aaron Judge possibly stepping away from the Yankees has been described by insiders as something far more emotional and complex than a simple contract dispute. And that is exactly why this story has taken on a life of its own among fans and commentators. When a figure like Judge, who has become the living symbol of modern Yankees baseball, is suddenly connected to whispers of departure, the reaction is immediate disbelief mixed with quiet fear. Sources close to the clubhouse suggest that this is not about money alone, nor about fame or statistics, but about identity, legacy, and the weight of expectations that come with wearing pinstripes. Every single night, Judge has always carried himself as a leader, someone who understands what the Yankees represent historically. And that makes this rumor even more devastating. People around the organization hint that internal conversations have grown more introspective, almost philosophical, as if Judge himself is questioning what his future should look like beyond the familiar walls of the Bronx. This is why the news feels heavier than a normal transfer rumor, because it touches the soul of the franchise. Fans are not just hearing that a star might leave, they are sensing that an era defined by calm strength and towering presence could be nearing an unexpected turning point behind the scenes. The speculation gained even more intensity when recalling Judge's journey, from a college standout at Fresno State to becoming one of the most recognizable figures in Major League Baseball. Drafted by the Yankees in the first round during the year 2013, his path seemed almost scripted to align perfectly with the organization's long-term vision. From the moment he debuted in the big leagues during the year 2016, there was a sense that this was not just another talented outfielder, but someone built to carry narratives larger than the game itself. The Yankees embraced him not only as an athlete, but as a face of stability during times of transition. Now, whispers suggest that Judge may be feeling the emotional toll of constantly being the answer to every question, the solution to every problem, and the symbol fans cling to when uncertainty rises. Insiders describe moments of reflection where Judge appears thoughtful, even distant, as if weighing what loyalty truly means when personal fulfillment enters the conversation. This is not betrayal, they insist, but a human response to years of pressure that never truly fade. What makes the rumor feel devastating is the silence surrounding it, because neither Judge nor the Yankees have rushed to shut it down with aggressive denials. In the world of sports media, silence often speaks louder than words, and fans have noticed. Analysts speculate that ongoing internal discussions may involve Judge's long-term health, family priorities, and the psychological burden of constant expectations in New York. Playing for the Yankees is often described as a privilege, but it is also a responsibility that can overshadow personal growth. People close to Judge suggest he has reached a stage where he is asking himself what kind of legacy he wants to leave, not only in record books but in his own life story. The idea of stepping into a new environment with different pressures and quieter narratives has reportedly crossed his mind. This does not mean he wants to abandon the Yankees, but rather that he is exploring what it means to evolve beyond the role he has inhabited for so long. That internal struggle is what fuels this rumor and makes it resonate so deeply. Fans across the baseball world are reacting not with anger, but with a sense of mourning, as if they are being asked to imagine the Yankees without their towering captain-like presence. Judge represents more than power at the plate or defense in the outfield. He represents continuity in a league defined by constant movement. The thought of him wearing another uniform feels almost unnatural to many supporters, who have grown accustomed to associating his calm demeanor with the Yankees brand. Commentators emphasize that this reaction is precisely why Judge may feel conflicted, because leaving would not just be a career decision, it would be an emotional earthquake for millions at the same time. Rumors suggest that the organization understands this complexity and is approaching the situation with caution rather than confrontation. There is a sense that both sides are trying to protect something intangible, whether that is legacy, dignity, or mutual respect. This careful dance has allowed speculation to grow unchecked, creating a narrative that feels both devastating and strangely inevitable. Within baseball circles, some believe this moment represents a broader shift in how star players view long-term commitments to iconic franchises. Judge's situation is often described as symbolic, reflecting a generation of athletes who value balance, mental well-being, and personal agency as much as championships and accolades. Insiders hint that Judge has listened closely to stories from other veterans around the league who chose unexpected paths later in their careers. These conversations reportedly planted seeds of curiosity about life beyond the Yankees. This does not diminish his love for the organization, but it complicates it. Love, after all, can coexist with the desire for change. That nuance is often lost in headlines screaming devastation, yet it is central to understanding why this rumor refuses to disappear. Judge's calm public persona contrasts sharply with the emotional storm his potential departure would unleash, making the speculation feel almost surreal as the rumor continues to circulate. One thing becomes clear: whether Judge stays or leaves, the conversation itself has already changed how fans perceive the future. The Yankees have long been seen as a destination where legends are built and retained. But this situation challenges that assumption. Judge's possible exit forces supporters to confront uncomfortable questions about identity, loyalty, and evolution within modern baseball. The devastation people feel is not just about losing a player, but about losing a sense of certainty. Even those who believe Judge will ultimately remain admit that something fundamental has shifted. The mere possibility of his departure has cracked the illusion of permanence that surrounded his presence, and in that crack, speculation thrives, emotions intensify, and the story grows larger than any official statement could contain. In the second part of this unfolding narrative, the focus shifts toward how the Yankees themselves are rumored to be processing the situation internally. With sources suggesting a mixture of realism and quiet concern, executives are said to understand that Judge's value goes far beyond measurable performance, making any potential separation a deeply strategic and emotional challenge. The Yankees have built marketing, leadership structures, and future planning around Judge's presence, and the idea of restructuring that vision is reportedly unsettling. Insiders claim that long meetings have taken place where the conversation is less about contracts and more about philosophy, culture, and the future identity of the franchise. Judge's potential departure is viewed not as a failure, but as a moment that could redefine how the Yankees relate to their stars moving forward. This perspective has led to a cautious approach, avoiding public pressure that could push Judge further toward uncertainty. Instead, the organization appears to be listening, acknowledging that the modern athlete expects to be heard rather than commanded. Speculation also suggests that Judge himself is acutely aware of the historical weight of his choices, knowing that whatever he decides will be dissected for decades. Former players and mentors are rumored to have shared their experiences with him, offering advice that ranges from staying loyal to embracing change. These conversations are described as deeply personal, touching on family, mental health, and the reality that a career, no matter how successful, is only one chapter of a much larger life. Judge's calm exterior reportedly hides a mind constantly evaluating scenarios, imagining futures both within and beyond the Yankees. This inner dialogue adds depth to the rumor, transforming it from a simple headline into a human story about growth and self-definition. Observers note that Judge has never been impulsive, which suggests that any decision he makes will be deliberate and deeply considered. The fan reaction continues to evolve as well, shifting from shock to introspection. Many supporters are beginning to question what they truly want for Judge as a person, not just as a player. Social conversations reflect a growing empathy, acknowledging that greatness often comes with sacrifices unseen by the public. This emotional maturity among fans has softened the tone of the speculation, turning devastation into contemplation. People are starting to ask whether holding onto a legend at all costs is fair, or whether allowing them the freedom to choose their path is the ultimate sign of respect. This shift in perspective has given the rumor a reflective quality, making it less about fear and more about understanding. Yet, the underlying sadness remains, because imagining the Yankees without Judge still feels like imagining a story without its main character. Round the league, other organizations are said to be watching closely, not necessarily with aggressive intent, but with curiosity. Judge's situation is rumored to be seen as a case study in how modern superstars navigate loyalty and autonomy. Executives elsewhere reportedly recognize that if someone as emblematic as Judge can contemplate change, then no franchise is immune to similar moments. This awareness has added a layer of gravity to the rumor, elevating it beyond one team or one player. It has become a conversation about the future of baseball culture itself. Judge, whether he wants it or not, finds himself at the center of this broader dialogue, his personal uncertainty echoing throughout the sport. That is why the news feels devastating to some and enlightening to others. Despite all the noise, there remains a quiet belief among certain insiders that Judge and the Yankees are bound by something deeper than circumstance. They argue that shared history, mutual respect, and unfinished dreams still hold significant power. This belief fuels counter-rumors suggesting that the current uncertainty could ultimately strengthen their bond rather than break it. The idea is that honest conversations, even uncomfortable ones, can lead to renewed commitment. In this interpretation, the devastation fans feel now could transform into relief later, making the emotional roller coaster part of a larger story of resilience. However, even those who believe in this outcome admit that nothing feels guaranteed anymore, and that uncertainty itself is the defining feature of this moment. As the speculation continues, without official resolution, one truth stands out clearly: Aaron Judge's name has become synonymous with transformation, both personal and institutional. Whether he stays with the Yankees or chooses a different path, the impact of this rumor will linger. It has forced fans, executives, and players alike to confront the evolving nature of loyalty in professional sports. The devastation people feel is real, but so is the possibility of growth on all sides, and that tension between fear and hope. This story continues to unfold, whispered in studios, debated among fans, and carried quietly by the man at its center. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. As this rumor stretches further, it begins to feel less like a sudden shock and more like a slow-burning question, hovering over the entire Yankees universe. People close to the situation describe a strange calm surrounding Judge, almost as if he has already accepted that whatever decision comes next will redefine how he is remembered. That calm has unsettled some fans even more than outright frustration would have. When a superstar appears peaceful in the middle of chaos, it often signals deep internal clarity, and that possibility alone has intensified speculation. Observers note that Judge has always been intentional with his words and actions, rarely driven by impulse, which makes every subtle gesture now feel magnified. A pause before answering a question, a reflective look in interviews, or a shift in tone becomes fuel for endless interpretation. The idea circulating is that Judge may be emotionally preparing himself and the organization for a future that looks different from what everyone once assumed was inevitable. That preparation, according to whispers, does not necessarily mean departure, but it does mean acceptance that permanence is no longer guaranteed. In that space of acceptance, fans feel exposed to uncertainty, and uncertainty is often more painful than bad news itself. This is why the rumor continues to grow without confirmation, sustained by the emotional weight it carries, rather than concrete facts. Another layer adding intensity to the situation is the belief that Judge understands the power of timing and narrative better than most athletes. Those who have followed his career closely say he has always been aware that legacies are shaped not only by achievements, but by moments of transition. How a player leaves or chooses to stay can define their story as much as what they accomplish on the field. This awareness reportedly makes Judge cautious, almost philosophical, about how this chapter unfolds. Insiders speculate that he does not want his story reduced to a transactional headline or a loud farewell, but rather framed as a thoughtful evolution. That desire clashes with the modern sports media environment, which thrives on urgency and drama. The resulting tension creates a vacuum filled by speculation, where every silence is interpreted as confirmation. Fans are caught between trusting Judge's character and fearing the implications of his introspection. This internal conflict mirrors Judge's own rumored struggle, making the story feel deeply human. It is no longer just about whether he stays with the Yankees, but about whether a player of his stature can redefine success on his own terms, without being labeled disloyal or ungrateful. Ultimately, the reason this rumor feels so devastating is because it forces everyone to confront change without offering closure. The Yankees, as an institution, have long represented stability and continuity, while Judge has embodied those same values on the field and beyond. The possibility that both could be entering a period of transformation at the same time creates a sense of collective vulnerability. Fans are realizing that no symbol, no matter how strong, is immune to evolution. That realization is uncomfortable, but it is also honest. Whether this story ends with Judge reaffirming his place in pinstripes or choosing a different path, the emotional impact will linger far beyond the decision itself. The speculation has already altered how people talk about loyalty, legacy, and personal fulfillment in sports. In that sense, the devastation people feel is intertwined with growth. Even if they are not ready to admit it yet, this rumor, whispered and debated endlessly, has become a mirror reflecting the changing soul of the game and the humanity of the player at its center. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.